What's up, everybody? Welcome back to From the Crypt. I'm Derek, and today I'm going to be talking about Borderlands. Now, 3 things before we get started. 1, there's going to be spoilers. You've been warned. 2, I have been a huge fan of the Borderlands franchise since I believe it came out in 2009. I could be wrong on the date. Maybe it's 10, but Borderlands 2 is literally in my top 5 favorite games of all time. So, for any of you thinking, you're going to be biased, yeah, probably am. But trust me, I've got other things. But then 3. Now, a lot of the bigger name actors in this movie, I love them. Jack Black is in like my top 5, like people I want to meet before I die. I love Jack Black. I love Kevin Hart. But I am going to be honest about what I witnessed. So, those 3 things out of the way. Now, super quick plot synopsis. A man hires bounty hunters to find his daughter on an alien planet. Okay. So, the movie is directed by Eli Roth, of course, which I'll discuss maybe later. Now let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. I have never been a huge Eli Roth fan, whether it's Cabin Fever, both Hostels, Green Inferno, Thanksgiving. They literally did nothing for me. So, and I'm sorry that I've kind of spoiled my own review because I'm sure you can kind of tell where this is going, but just hang in there with me, okay? Now, who's in the movie? We got Cate Blanchett as Lilith, Kevin Hart as Roland, Jamie Lee Curtis as Patricia Tannis, Ariana Greenblatt as Tiny Tina, Jack Black as Claptrap, and, oh god, I'm going to butcher this one, Florian Montanu, sorry if I mispronounced that, as Krieg. So, what's good about the movie? I chuckled 3 times. 3. This many. The same number of things that I told you that I had to talk about before the review. All of which was for Claptrap, which I'll get in that a little bit longer or later, but there was a line. What's up, sugar chips? Said that to a female robot or machine. I did chuckle at that. The stairs, of course, just because of Borderlands 2, but believe me when I tell you, Borderlands 2 did it better. I at least was like, okay, at least we got that. And then towards the end of the film, Patricia is explaining something and about how Lilith, I was supposed to take you away from this. And then Claptrap, well, how'd that work out? I chuckled at that. Those are the 3 times I chuckled. One good thing is the casting of Marcus. I thought the guy that played Marcus, I don't have his name pulled up in front of me or anything, he was the best casted actor in this movie. So take that for what it's worth, because he's in the movie maybe 2 minutes, tops, if I'm being honest. Not very much at all. And before people start, well, he's just going to say because the video game had him. No, it's not that. I understand that you can't be 100%, like, we're not going to find that perfect Tiny Tina or that perfect Marcus or Lilith. But Jesus, try. Now, what's bad about the movie? I'm going to try and give reasons instead of just one word, which I'm sure most of you can probably guess what that word is by now. Firstly, it's an M-rated game franchise that is trying to be a PG-13 movie. Yeah. The movie, it's trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff. That's all it is. This is your typical, like, oh, I'm a lone wolf. I work alone. Oh, who are these people? Oh, now I'm attached to the little girl in the group. Oh, I betrayed you. I feel so bad now because I'm a part of the group now. Oh, I'm going to save the day. This movie has been done literally hundreds of times. And you know what? It's been done better in hundreds of times. Like, God, I literally shook my head in disgust more than I laughed at the damn movie. It's not funny. Like, and I think I have a pretty good sense of humor. And considering I think that the Borderlands games themselves, just the humor within them, I find it downright hilarious. If somebody's going to sit there and tell me they don't find Handsome Jack funny and in Borderlands 2, you're wrong, or you have a bad sense of humor. It is just nowhere near. It's nowhere near the same sense of humor, and it doesn't even really have a frickin' sense of humor. Like I said, chuckled 3 damn times. That's it. Now, I know this is more of the game, but Borderlands has always kind of prided itself on the amount of loot that you can get. A bazillion guns or a gazillion guns is one of the games advertised. There's like 8 guns. There's a Purging Infinity though, so that's cool. But that's about it. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and stop myself and just apologize, guys, because this movie really got me worked up. So if it seems like I'm all over the place, I apologize in advance because I am not. You've picked up on it already. I was not happy with this movie, and I will explain more of why I felt not happy. But the CG at times felt absolutely god-awful, especially when the Crimson Lance showed up after Lilith meets up with Tiny Tina, and they're on, their hover bikes or whatever. The CG looked god-awful behind them. And it just, even during that fight with Lilith and Tiny Tina, like there were some spots, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it exactly other than it did not look good. And yeah, we'll address the biggest issue, or one of the biggest issues, because I don't think the miscastings in this movie was the biggest issue. The story was god-awful. It was completely stupid. You had literally just a bountiful well to pull from in Borderlands, or even could have gave us completely new characters set in the Borderlands universe. I would have been more down for that than what we got. Because, I'm sorry, Kevin Hart is not Roland. And as I said before, and I'm going to try to limit myself from saying this 20 frickin' times, I love these actors. Like, Kevin Hart is hilarious. Like, for instance, one action movie, or I guess buddy cop action movie, Central Intelligence with Dwayne Johnson. He was perfect in that movie. I love that movie. Him as just the big buff male guy, no. And Roland's character was not written good. And Roland doesn't even get his frickin' turret in this movie. That's his main skill. Now, given it sucked, Roland was easily the worst character in Borderlands 1. I'm not pretending like he was Mordecai or something, which I'll get into that a little bit more too. But come on. Give him a frickin' turret. At least be true to the game. Yeah. Since I already brought it up, where in the hell is Mordecai and Brick, the other 2 original Vault Hunters from Borderlands 1? Sorry. Once again, like I said, I'm going to be all over the place. The miscastings of the movie. God, I don't want to sound like a dick, but Cate Blanchett, she's an amazing actress, just too old. Too, like, I don't know. I always pictured Lilith younger. And it's not a knock on her acting ability by any means. Younger and definitely not taller than Roland. Because, oh crap, that's the way it was in the game. Jamie Lee Curtis as Patricia Tannis. Well, first off, I don't even recall them saying her first name. It was just Tannis. It's Patricia Tannis. Jamie Lee Curtis's performance of Tannis, she drove me insane. And it's not like this chick's kind of crazy. Oh, shit. In the first Borderlands game. No, she's just literally bad. Just bad all around. I still think, and I love Jack Black, I still think they should have had the guy who originally voiced Claptrap be Claptrap. Now, Jack Black did probably the best out of everybody. It was at least the closest, but once again, the writing. The writing just wasn't on the same level as the games, and it just felt lazy. Like, I don't know. Remember, chuckled 3 times. Okay, so one thing that I will say is a bad thing, because this movie is awful. It is just trash. I feel like this movie was meant to be a very bad introduction to the world of Borderlands for people like, for instance, my wife, who's never watched me play the games, knows nothing about it. But in trying to bring new people into the franchise or cinematic universe of it, I felt like this game was a slap in the face to anybody that was a fan of the games. I really, truly believe that. Because God, man, this movie is a literal mess. And I'm not joking about that. Another thing that kind of annoyed me, that people say, well, it's like, oh, you can't compare it so much to the video games. Like, because it's got to be different. Yeah, and I understand that. But if you're using the characters' likenesses and stuff like that, and I can be critical about how they're written and their backstories and how their backstories are rewritten. Because in this movie, Tina is just a clone. Tina is not, she's a clone created by Atlas. I'm not even going to bother to remember who played him. I think it was Edgar Ramirez, but she is a clone. In the game franchise, her and her parents were sold off to like Handsome Jack to be experimented on with the slag, and or maybe it was the iridium. I can't remember. I'm all over the place because this movie was that bad. Now, I am going to reference something that I read a few days ago because I was just scrolling through Google one day randomly, and Slash Film had an article about how Borderlands could avoid becoming a box office bomb. So I was like, okay, you got my attention. Now, the filming originally wrapped in June of 2021. That's over 3 years ago. Why was this movie sat on for that long? Is it because they thought it was bad? My guess is yes. Because what Toby has later told me, he saw somebody posted, now given this could be total BS, so I'm not going to take this with a grain of, I'm not going to take it with a grain of salt. I'm not going to fully believe it. I'm just judging off of what I've seen. And what I was told was kind of similar, that the early screenings of the movie were literally unwatchable, and this movie was damn near that. So, yeah, anytime a studio sits on a movie that long, you've either got issues with an actor that's like in the press for bad reasons, or your movie is that bad. There was also apparently extensive reshoots that was shot by Tim Miller. So one thing I was worried about, and you could kind of tell at certain spots that there was like a little bit of, you could just tell the tone was a little bit different, or like I can't think of exactly how to explain it. Because Eli Roth directed the first cut, Tim Miller had to go back in and do the extensive reshoots. But thankfully, this one wasn't as bad as, like, I don't know, Justice League or the god-awful Fantastic Four movie that we got back in, like, I think it was 2015, 2016. So that at least was good, because I was worried that it was going to be Justice League. And yes, I'm saying Justice League, because the theatrical cut of Justice League is garbage. Now, another interesting thing, a writer, Craig Mazin, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. He was a writer on Last of Us and Chernobyl for HBO, which if you guys haven't seen those series, please definitely check them out. Chernobyl is really good. He fought to have his name removed from this project. It's not, hey, can you take me off that? No, he had to fight to get his name off of the project. Think about that. Just completely disowning your own work and not even wanting any part of it. And after watching the movie, I completely see why he didn't want to be a part of it. This movie is also got a budget of $120 million. And it's only estimated to open with maybe 15. And I can tell you from my theater experience, there was 5 people in the theater. 5. Man. So that was basically it from that article that I read on Slash Film. But because I didn't even read this article, but I saw on a website that Randy Pitchford of Gearbox was hopeful for a sequel. It's like, yeah, no, we got some good ideas lined up. That was basically the gist of the headline. I don't understand. Like, you knew this movie was bad. And then what, the Rotten Tomatoes score is sitting at 8% right now? And I think that's being kind, if I'm being 100% honest. I know some people are going to be like, Derek, why did you go see it if you had all the worries about it? No, you're 100% right. Like, this is easily the second worst movie I've ever seen in theaters, and I take no pride in saying that because, like I said, I'm a huge fan of the franchise. I really am. I didn't want to believe it, you know. Jack Black, Kevin Hart, Borderlands. It's gonna be... No, it's not good. So, will I watch this movie again? No. No. I will never watch this movie again. I don't want to watch it if it's on Netflix or Peacock or Prime, whatever. It will not be added to my collection. What score I'd give it? And I'm being kind. I chuckled 3 times. I'm going to give it a 1. A 1 out of 10. Now, anybody that's watched my reviews, like, I know I've only got like 4 of them up, one of which was Strangers Chapter 1, and I was being kind when I was giving that review, because there was some good elements about it. There were hardly any good elements about this movie, and I'm not happy saying that at all. It's really disheartening to have to say that, if I'm being 100% honest, but that's my honest opinion, and that's what I want to do. I want to always give you my honest opinion. Hopefully you guys know that if I see a good movie, I definitely will recommend it, but if I see a bad one too, I'm going to recommend you watch something better or spend your time doing literally anything else. Watching paint dry? I don't know, but I know I've been super harsh on this movie, but honestly, it basically took an hour and 45 minutes of my life, so I feel like I have the right to be a little bit harsh with it. But, yeah, guys, all in all, just avoid this movie. And I really take no pleasure in saying that whatsoever. Normally, I'm hyped up and I'm happy, and I was worried that I was going to be pissed off and ranting and yelling like some of the podcast episodes, but this, I'm kind of depressed after watching it, how bad it really, really was. So, that'll do it for Borderlands, guys. Now, what did you think of the movie? Did you actually go see this? I'm not going to call you guys dumb. Were you like me and saw the movie? Let me know down below, because I'm curious what you guys thought of it, because, yeah, I seriously... A slap in the face to a longtime fan. Saying black eye on the franchise, I don't think is going too far out of line. But if you guys agreed or liked the video, please consider dropping a like on it, and then also consider subscribing. Me and Jacob are always trying to grow the channel, as I normally say at the end of our videos. So you guys subscribing definitely helps and gets it out into the YouTube verse. So, yeah, guys, that'll be all. I wish I had better news, but it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But until next time, have a good one, guys.